We'll start with Article 19 of the Constitution, and thereafter we'll discuss 20. So I don't think that we can discuss apart 21 today because it will take a lot of time. So we'll discuss these two articles and thereafter we'll do revision. So we are going to start. First of all, I want to ask that right to freedom, what does it mean? Anybody?
Sir, actually, freedom is basically to be free to do something. So, Article 19 to 22 discusses about the freedom of a person that he can do something.
Okay. So we'll start with Article 19, and basically Article 19, the rights available under Article 19 are available only for citizens. It's not available for everyone. So remember this thing. And second thing, that any company or corporation cannot claim this right under Article 19. So remember this thing. Only natural person can claim this right. So there are two type of person. One is natural and second one is
Juristic.
legal.
Okay.
So how do you distinguish between natural person and legal person? And it will be answered by Gunib.
So natural born could be the born, the born who was born in the India as a country, or legal जिसने citizenship acquire कर ली हो या कोई शेयर होल्डर हो कंपनी का.
You're saying that those people who born in India, they are natural person, and those people who have acquired citizenship of India, they are not natural person. This is what you meant?
Mm, so yes, like
Okay.
like they may have acquired the natural citizenship वो residence वाले factor से या acquire जैसे कर लेते legal ways में वैसे.
Neha Yadav, do you have anything to say about it?
I mean, all the corporations and the companies, they'll come, the one which are registered in India will come under legal person.
Mm-hmm.
And the normal people, obvious, the citizen of a country will come under natural persons.
Okay. More precise definition, if anyone can give.
So a natural person is a person who is living really.
Y-
Whereas a
Yes.
legal person can be an entity, can be an trust, can be a company, or
Living
imaginary
or
person is also
so.
known as a legal person.
So you are saying that somebody, a person who is living or real, that will be natural person, right? This is what you are
Yes, sir.
saying, right?
Sir.
Okay, and in legal person?
Persons such as entities, companies, trustees, or imaginary persons.
Okay. So a natural person can be a legal person. So
Yes, sir.
I'm giving you two statement. All the natural persons are legal person. So this statement is correct or incorrect? It will be answered by Monica.
Correct, sir.
How?
Sir? Sir,
Let
I'm
her
audible.
answer. Let her answer, and thereafter, Astos, you answer it. Yes, Monica.
So all
The state.
natural persons can be legal persons, but all legal persons can be a corporation and or a trust or anything else, but they can't be natural person. Natural person is a living being, and so legal person can be a living being.
Okay, so now let me define this thing for you, and then you'll understand this statement is incorrect, and I'll explain you how it is incorrect. So basically, any person or thing that can do things a human person is able to do. Listen carefully. Any person or thing that can do things a human person is able to do in law, such as enter into contracts, sue and can be sued, own property, and so on. Did you understand? So a person who is 10-year old, he is a natural person. Obviously, he is a natural person, but he cannot form a contract because to form a contract, you should be 18 or above 18. Therefore, he is not legal person. He cannot do many things. Are you understanding? So all natural person may not be legal person. Remember this thing.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, those.
Sir, can you repeat one more time? I'm not able to understand that fully.
So just a second. Let me erase it. This is me. Okay. And I'm a natural person. This is my cousin who is 10-year old. He is also natural person. Now, legal person. I am above 18, so I can form a contract. I can do all the legal things, most of the legal things which are I can do. Okay, so I can sue anyone. Sue means केस कर सकता हूँ किसी के ऊपर और मेरे ऊपर भी कोई केस कर सकता है, एक बात. सेकंड थिंग, मैं किसी के साथ भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर्म कर सकता हूँ. जो मेरे मैं किसी के साथ कोई भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर्म कर सकता हूँ, बट मेरा कजिन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर्म नहीं कर सकता है बिकॉज ही इज 10 ईयर ओल्ड. उसके लिए इसको 18 ईयर ओल्ड होना पड़ेगा. तो लॉ के द्वारा ऐसी चीज है जो एक ह्यूमन कर ले. ठीक है, एक ह्यूमन पर्सन जो एबल हो ऐसी चीजें करने के लिए, लीगली करने के लिए. अगर कोई चीज ह्यूमन के अलावा वो सब चीजें कर सकती है तो वो लीगल पर्सन होगी. समझ में आया आपको? सिंपल.
Yes, sir.
समझ गए आप? बस. So this was the basic fundamental difference between legal person and so now I want to ask this question that some year back Uttarakhand High Court said that Ganga is also a natural person. So how come Ganga can be a natural person? It's a river.
Sir, it provides livelihood to millions of people.
अरे आप ऐसे मत सोचो, थोड़ा लीगली सोचना शुरू करो आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की तरह तरीके से.
Sir, can you repeat the statement once?
I am saying that a few years back Uttarakhand High Court said that the Gange is a legal person, legal entity. So the question is that how come a river can be a legal entity? This is the question.
Sir, guardian clause something. It's a living entity but cannot take care of itself like minor. And in Ayodhya case, Ram.
हाँ, वहां भी बोला था कि लॉर्ड राम इज अ लीगल पर्सन.
Sir,
अभी देखो मैं आपको
basically
समझाता हूँ होता
So because
हाँ हाँ
like
अनि यस नेहा गो हेड.
so like because like other deities, it provides taxes, it pays taxes to the government. On its name, taxes are paid to the government. That's why.
Yes, Yes, exactly, Neha, you are right. So what happens that there is a Ram Janmabhoomi Trust. So in the name of Gange also there is something, some organization and all going on. So those organization can be sued. They pay taxes, they do lot of things, and therefore they are legal entity in their name. Say for example a company. अभी आप ने कहीं से एक मोबाइल फोन मंगाया, अब मोबाइल फोन निकल गया खराब. So now you have purchased a mobile phone, Oppo ले लो, ठीक है? Oppo, you have bought Oppo mobile phone, and now it's a defective product. So you call Flipkart. So Flipkart people say it's not our responsibility. We are just mediators who takes order and deliver things. Okay. So we are not responsible for it, and now we will not take after 10 days. Now you go to Oppo. Oppo says now, who is Oppo basically? Oppo is a company, right? Now you go to Oppo and you say that your product is defective and within 15 days it's not working properly. So Oppo denies you that. Oppo says no, 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 we can't take back this thing or we can't repair it. You go somewhere else. So then you say अभी आपके ऊपर एक केस करूंगा इस कंपनी के ऊपर, we will sue you. तो आपने क्या है यहाँ ओप्पो का कौन क्या है उसको नहीं बोला, आपने बोला कि कंपनी को स्यू करूंगा, ठीक है? सो द कंपनी हैज बिकम अ लीगल पर्सन. सिमिलरली लॉर्ड रामा, सिमिलरली गंगे एंड ऑल. सो उसके पीछे लोग होंगे जिन्होंने इस एसोसिएशन को फॉर्म कर रखा होगा ऑब्वियसली, बट अल्टीमेटली आप कंपनी को स्यू कर रहे हो. सो इट्स अ लीगल एंटिटी. नाउ आई वांट टू आस्क वन क्वेश्चन. There are two questions. Say for example, Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z are there, and they have formed a corporation, maybe a company named XYZ Technology Private Limited. So there are two questions. Whether this XYZ Technology Private Limited can claim fundamental rights under Article 19. Second question, whether Mr. X, Y, Z in their individual capacity can claim fundamental right under Article 19 or not. So these are two questions, and first one will be answered by Imja.
So, the organization or the company cannot ask for the fundamental right because it's a legal entity, and the legal entity are not, comply to the fundamental right. But the XYZ are the individuals or the citizens of this country. So they can obviously ask for the fundamental rights.
So my question is that XYZ is legal entity. It is paying tax. It is paying GST. It is doing everything. So why can't it claim?
It's a legal entity, but not a human in a human form. It's not a living entity. It's a legal entity.
Okay, so you want to say that fundamental rights are available for living entity,
Yes, sir.
right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so remember this thing. I hope this thing is clear so far, right?
Yes, sir.
Anyone has to add anything or anyone has any doubt?
Sir, foreigners can be placed in a legal entity, sir.
लीगल तो हो ही सकते हैं.
Okay,
अभी कोई
sir.
फॉरेनर आके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर लेगा इंडिया में तो वो लीगल एंटिटी तो है ही.
Okay, sir. So as a particular, they don't have any fundamental rights, but they have
They
some.
have
They
some
have
fundamental
some.
rights like Article 20, 21 they have, but under 19 they can't claim. It is for the citizen.
Okay, sir. Definitely.
Sure, in case of press, when they file a case on the name of press, then how they are legal entities. How can they, put a case about freedom of expression or freedom of press?
Who?
So the press, for example, some news channel is fighting a case.
So the
in that,
yes. So the thing is that freedom of
So
speech.
the freedom of a press is originated as an integral part of the FR because it's under Article 19, Clause 1, Clause A, the freedom of speech. It's a right of a citizen to express the views and the opinions of others. Is also
I was coming on that only. So basically, freedom of press is a part of freedom of expression. So how do you express yourself? So I was coming on that thing only. So just give me maybe 10 seconds and then we'll discuss that thing. So what happens? So first of all, we'll see how many how many fundamental freedoms are there under this article. So first one is freedom of speech and expression. Which one is second? Second one is freedom of assembly. Third one, Neha,
Freedom
tell me third one.
freedom
Association.
of association.
Yeah, third one is freedom of association. Fourth one, Anusa, tell me which one is fourth one. Dattatray. Fourth freedom under this article. It's a freedom of movement. Okay. And what about fifth one? Dolly Pathak.
This is to reside and settle in any territory of India.
Reside and settle. And Gargi Gupta, which one is sixth one? This F.
Sir, the freedom, hello?
Yes, yes.
So the right to practice any profession or occupation or trade.
This was G. Okay, so right to property was also there, but it was abolished by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, it was omitted. So remember this thing. And the last one was the freedom of profession, occupation, trade, and business. Now, there are six freedom, but they are not absolute. Remember this thing. They are not absolute. So remember this thing. And when I am saying absolute, what does it mean?
Sir, they can be changed.
They can be changed or can be
The reasonable restriction.
on
They are
various
without any restrictions.
Reasonable restrictions. State can impose some reasonable restrictions.
अरे नहीं भाई, अगर एब्सोल्यूट है तो उसका
can
नहीं
be
कर सकता ना.
enjoyed. It can be enjoyed at any state cannot impose restrictions.
Actually, they are kind of infallible. Okay, no, state cannot do anything if they are absolute. However, they are not absolute. So we'll talk about this thing. Now, I want to ask one thing, that say for example, we'll talk about liberty, okay, and then we'll come on it. So liberty, what does this liberty mean?
Sir, freedom to grow.
Absence of constraints.
Without any
Okay.
obstacle.
Absence of restraint to grow fully.
So what is the relation between liberty and law?
Sir, liberty is it means, sir, between law and liberty there is that by law we can sanction liberty or can entertain claims of liberty, sir, by law.
So it is inverse relation.
Okay, so if I say that if there are more laws, then there is less liberty, this statement is correct or incorrect?
Yes, sir. No, sir, it's correct.
Sir, law, it in which direction? It can be positive or negative.
I'm saying that
more the liberty.
I am saying to regulate a person's freedom, there are many laws. So whether there will be more liberty or less liberty.
It is then
Less
it will
liberty.
be less liberty, sir.
Yes, exactly, less liberty. Now, what happened that if people were given complete and absolute liberty without any social control, then there will be chaos, because man is a rational being. He has a lot of desires to do many things. Okay, but we live in a civil society, and where we need to exercise some sort of regulation on those liberty, so that the one person's liberty cannot become harmful for the other person's liberty. That is why there are laws. So if there will be more laws, then there will be less liberty. Understand this thing, because I don't know UPSC has asked this thing or not, but this is the thing. Okay, and this thing was said in AK Gopalan versus State of Madras case. And this question came in UPSC, if I am not wrong. Right?
So can we understand this way also that certain laws they give liberty? For example, abolition of untouchability. For that, laws are being made which gives liberty to the untouchables.
It gives
Actually,
equality.
actually, sir, liberty is from birth and freedom is given by law.
Yes.
So can you please repeat the case AK Gopalan versus?
State of Madras.
Thank you.
Now, whatever these these laws we have, sorry, these fundamental rights we have discussed, the Constitution has restricted themselves itself. Okay, so the Constitution has put some sort of restriction on these fundamental right, and it has given the power to state to impose reasonable restriction on these law. Now, my next question is that what is this reasonable restriction?
Sir, we can see in various example like regarding freedom of speech and expression, like section 144, or we can see that there is a law which can impose a reasonable restriction, like curbing the internet.
No, I want to ask what is this thing? What is this reasonable? First define this reasonable. What is this?
The
So
reasonable
yeah,
steps
freedom.
means
Sir, there are various ground on which
holding of.
Dattatray, Ashutosh, just a second. Yes, Dattatray.
The reasonable restrictions means like
No, no.
taking of
I
hold.
my first question is that what is this reasonable?
Sir, bare minimum.
So fair and just,
Which is logical.
Fair and just,
not arbitrary.
not arbitrary. Yes.
Logical.
Practicable.
Who said logical?
So me.
Should we write
Yeah.
on the substantive ground?
No, no, no. This much is important. So remember this thing that this reasonable implies that the restriction should not be basically arbitrary. If they are putting restriction, then it should be fair and just, and it should not be arbitrary. This thing remember, because these two three things you have to remember, that it should be fair and just, it should not be arbitrary and all. Remember these three four fancy words and write down whenever you want to write. If you are talking about Article 19, 21 and all, if there is any question, you can, without giving a thought, you can write about. If you have to write about any law, just say the law should be fair and just, and it should not be arbitrary, and it should not result into in any kind of injustice to anyone. These kind of things you can write. So remember all these things. These are kind of so basically somebody said logical also. So the reasonable implies intelligent care and deliberation, so which is kind of basically logical only. So remember this thing. And a law which arbitrarily or excessively invades the right of a person cannot be said to contain the quality of reasonableness. So remember this thing. If any law which is arbitrary and excessive, then it will not amount to reasonableness. Okay, and my next question is that who will decide whether a restriction is reasonable or not?
Judiciary.
Okay, judiciary will decide. So, in the case of fundamental right, can I go to session court?
No, sir, Supreme Court.
High Court
Sir,
also.
High Court.
I want to go
High,
to High Court.
yes,
226.
one can go to High Court also.
Yes, you can go to High Court and Supreme Court, and that this word reasonable actually widens the scope of judicial review. Remember this thing. And the Supreme Court has come up with a lot of guidelines that how and it should be decided on the merit of each and every case. So that is not important for us. So we are not going to discuss that. Now we'll come on the point and we'll discuss 19(1)(a). Anyone has any questions so far regarding this thing? Don't ask any question which we'll be discussing later on. So far, whatever we have discussed, if you have any question in it, you can ask.
Sir, you
Sir,
said some
Yes,
Sir, you
Sir,
said some.
I said what?
Sir, you said some last line which you said. Remember this. What was that?
So
Can
I was saying that always remember that if you have to write anything about Article 21 or maybe 19 and you have nothing to write, okay, nothing is coming in your head, then what you can write that law should not be arbitrary, it should not be excessive, it should be fair and just. These kind of things you can write. Uh, are you understanding?
yes, sir.
If you are writing these 4 5 things, then also you'll get some marks.
Sir, widen judicial review, sir. That's what.
Yeah, so Biden judicial review. So this reason, the term reasonable actually widens the judicial review, because what restriction is reasonable or not, this will be decided by the court. So it will vary from in it will be, varying in each and every case. So therefore there will be 10 cases. Say for example, the government has put some sort of restriction, and government has said that we are putting now this particular area, and for in this area there will not be any internet for next 1 year, or maybe there will be only 2G data, or there will not be internet. So basically now what they are doing, that court has said that right to have access of internet also is a fundamental right, so they are curving their fundamental rights, right? Now what government is saying that this restriction is reasonable, and you are saying that how can it be reasonable? I cannot access internet, I cannot join my class, I cannot chat with my friends, I cannot share my photos and all. So how it can be reasonable? So then government of India goes into the court, and they say that there is most likely there are chances that people can be misled by the fake news and all, and by the propaganda spread by the neighboring countries. Therefore, in the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, we are putting this restriction. Therefore, it's reasonable, because individual freedom cannot be bigger than the country. Did you understand what I said? So in every case you can go, you can say this is not reasonable, then court will decide. That is how it's widening the scope of judicial review.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
sir,
Yes, Ravi.
sir, in case of violation of fundamental rights, in K. Puttuswamy judgment, I think it was said that we
अभी
can
अभी हम
directly.
आ रहे हैं, रुक जाओ, के पट्टू स्वामी जब डिस्कस करेंगे तब इसको डिस्कस कर लेंगे।
Okay,
स्टेप
sir.
बाय स्टेप चलेंगे तो ज्यादा बेहतर रहेगा। ठीक है ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 19(1)(a) says that all citizens shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression. But this right is subject to limitation imposed under Article 19(2), which empowers the state to put reasonable restriction on certain grounds. So I want to ask one by one that okay, so first of all, Animis, can you please tell me how many grounds are there on which the state can put reasonable restriction under Article 19(2)?
Sir, I can tell, I don't remember the number. I can tell sovereignty, integrity, security, then public order, and this is what I remember.
Yes, there are 8 grounds. Remember this thing. First one is security of the state. Second one is friendly relation with foreign states. Third one is public order. Fourth one is decency or morality. And the next one is contempt of court. Other one, defamation and incitement of an offense. And the last one is sovereignty and integrity of India. So remember this thing. Now we'll talk about, so now we are coming on freedom of press, which Neha has asked. So first we'll talk about what is freedom of speech and expression. So it means the right to express one's own conviction and opinions freely by birds of mouth, writing, printing, picture, or any other mode. Did you understand that if you want to express yourself, so you have got lot of means. Maybe by birds of your mouth, you can write, you can give in writing, you can print something, you can provide a picture or any other mode. Now, actually, you are communicating your idea through a communicable medium, and that communicable medium can be a media also. So therefore, freedom of press has been included in this freedom of speech and expression. Therefore, when we are talking about freedom of speech and expression, so what happens that if government is putting some restriction on it, so they say that we are providing people's view. We are when somebody is writing any article in a newspaper and all, so he is giving his opinion by writing and by print media, then it should not be restricted. So that is how it can be challenged in the court. So the person who is in individual capacity, they challenge it basically.
Sir, basically it is an implicit right.
Yes, it is a implicit right.
Some meaning of implicit?
अंतर्निहित हिंदी में बोले तो
Indirect.
कमिंग मतलब ऑटोमेटिकली उसी के अंदर है.
Hidden
kind of.
consequence.
Derived right.
अप्रत्यक्ष.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anybody, if you have anything to discuss about it? Now I have a question for you, and it will be answered by Satish. Satish, my question is that can government put restriction on freedom of speech and expression when I am in United States of America?
Yeah, they can put.
Subhangi, what do you say?
Sorry, sir, pardon the question. My connection was not so well.
Okay, my question is that if I am in United States of America, can my freedom of speech and expression be restricted by government of India? Can it be curbed by government of India on the ground that I am not in country and I cannot speak certain things, though they are not though they are out of the purview of 19.2. Abhinas?
Yes, sir. Government can put the restrictions.
Who else is in the favor?
Sir, I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
they can put.
As citizen of
They cannot.
Sir, can you
India,
please?
they can put.
Hello?
Okay. Yes, Neha.
Sir, what do you want to say that if you, as a citizen of India is in abroad, can Indian government put restriction on you, or can USA government put restriction on you?
I'm talking about Indian government.
Okay.
Yes, Ashutosh, you were saying something.
Sir, they can hold your freedom of speech and expression in applying of visa. In that cases, they can do that in the name of friendly international relation or sovereignty of India. But if you are in the ground of USA or
I
in
am
another
saying
country,
I am saying what if I want to say something, okay, it will be beyond 19.2 because 19.2 put restriction. Okay, so I'm in India, so there cannot be any restriction. However, I go outside to go, so government says that see these are restriction when you are in India. Okay, however, if you are out of India, there will be another 10 restriction. So I want to ask whether government can put these extra 10 conditions when I am out of India.
Yes, sir. They
Yes, sir,
cannot.
they can.
Yes,
They
sir.
cannot, sir.
Sir, I can't. I do not think they can put restrictions.
They cannot put restriction on another country.
Sir, Article 19 is available for everyone irrespective of nationality. So they can put restriction because
No,
because restrictions also are
Neha,
part of it.
that is not question. First thing, it is not available for everyone.
Sir, whatever fundamental rights are available to the citizens are only for the citizens of the nation. But Article 19 is available to everyone.
No, it's not.
19 is for
No,
just for
19 is only for citizens.
Okay, Animis, what do you say?
Sir, they can put restriction, extra restriction that you asked for.
Guneep?
Sir, I don't think they can put.
So as soon as a citizen of India, they can put restrictions.
Actually, the government cannot put the restriction, and this had happened in the case of Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India, where court has said that we cannot protect their right outside of country. Therefore, we are putting some sort of restriction. So the the Supreme Court said that the freedom of speech and expression carries with it the right to gather information as also to speak and express oneself at home and abroad. So it is not only limited in India, it is beyond India also. So if you are out of India also, there cannot be any restriction from the side of government. Remember this thing. Did you understand this thing?
So this is for the citizen or for the foreigner?
We are talking about Article 19, and 19 is applicable for citizens only. So why should we worried about foreigners and all?
So which means the reasonable restrictions is only when they are in the home state, when they are in India, right?
Yes. When you are out of India, they cannot put any restriction on you. Remember this thing.
Because it is outside the purview of Article 19/2. Yes, sir.
No, 19 gives you freedom to speak in the home and abroad also. So everywhere you can speak. See, those restrictions under Article 19(2) will be there also. But I have particularly said that this 19(2) grounds will not be applicable. It is we are not saying anything which will fall under 19(2). So 19(2) I have already excluded. I was saying that for other conditions. So other conditions they cannot put beyond India also.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can they put 19(2) beyond India?
19(2) beyond India, yes, they can put.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I'm still confused. Can you please explain again?
So, one question from my side. What if
Hmm.
a foreigner comes to India and criticizes
Why are you talking about foreigners? We are not discussing foreigners because 19 does not talk about foreigners. It talks about citizens only. So we'll be limited to citizen only. Once we are discussing other fundamental rights, then we can discuss. If some foreigner is coming to India, then government can throw him out anytime.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
foreigners are not allowed
Yes,
to
sir, definitely.
participate in the what do you call it? These
Clauses of visa, it is mentioned.
protests and all. Yeah.
अभी आपने देखा नहीं कि कुछ लोग प्रोटेस्ट में पार्टिसिपेट किया था, उनको सबको भगा दिया भारत से और उनका वीजा कैंसिल कर दिया था.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. State has power.
हम लोग सिटीजन्स की बात कर रहे हैं. तो नेहा, मैं आपको ये बोल रहा था कि जैसे अगर आप इंडिया के बाहर हो तो एक्चुअली जो टेरिटोरियल एक्सटेंट है ना, वो मैटर नहीं करता है आपकी फ्रीडम को एक्सरसाइज करने में. समझ आया आपको? बाउंड्रीज मैटर नहीं करती हैं आपकी फ्रीडम को एक्सरसाइज करने में. जितनी
सर,
फ्रीडम आपको
फ्रीडम को एक्सरसाइज करने में मैटर नहीं करती, तो वो रीजनेबल ग्राउंड्स ऑफ रिस्ट्रिक्शन मैटर एप्लीकेबल होंगी या नहीं होंगी?
रीजनेबल ग्राउंड हर जगह जहां जहां वो कर सकते हैं वो लगा देंगे, ठीक है, वो इंडिया के बाहर और इंडिया के अंदर लगा सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर उसको उनको ट्राई करना है तो उनको इंडिया के अंदर लेके आना पड़ेगा उनको,
तो सर
ठीक
आप
है।
मेनका गांधी वाले केस के बारे में बोल रहे हैं. इन दैट केस दे वर
हम्म
लाइक worried कि दैट मेनका गांधी may say something which is against the government. उसकी
हाँ
वजह से
हाँ तो
पासपोर्ट ही ले लिया था.
हाँ पासपोर्ट ले लिया था,
तो वो
लेकिन
विद इन
सुप्रीम
इंटीग्रिटी को लेकर के भी तो कर सकते थे ना कि भाई इंटीग्रिटी से हमारी वो हो रही है.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता ना, इंटीग्रिटी और उसमें बहुत बहुत सब्जेक्टिव चीज है। अब हम इसमें तो डिस्कस ही नहीं कर सकते हैं क्योंकि सुप्रीम
ठीक है.
कोर्ट ने कह दिया कि ऐसा कुछ था ही नहीं। तभी तो
ओके.
दैट टाइम वी वर डिस्कसिंग दैट एनी रेस्ट्रिक्शन इज रीजनेबल और नॉट, इट विल बी डिसाइडेड बाय सुप्रीम कोर्ट, सो वी शुड नॉट टॉक ऑन दैट, क्योंकि अभी हम कितना भी इस पर डिस्कशन कर लें, हर केस टू
Yes.
केस की मेरिट के हिसाब से चेंज हो जाती है चीजें,
Yes, sir.
ठीक है।
Sir, so this condition applies for all the freedoms in Constitution or just 19(1)?
अभी तो हम 19(1) की ही बात कर रहे हैं, तो इट इज ओनली फॉर 19(1)(a),
Okay.
ठीक है, आगे डिस्कस करेंगे अगर आगे कुछ होगा तो। नाउ we'll talk about 19(1)(b). What does it say, Animesh?
Sir, assembly, right to assemble peacefully
Freedom of
without
assembly.
and without arms.
So basically there is nothing much about it. It says that this article guarantees to the people of India, and or alternatively we can say all the citizen of India right to assemble peacefully and without arms. So I mean these three are conditions: that it should be first peaceful, second it must be unarmed, third thing that reasonable restriction can be imposed under clause 3 of Article 19. Now I want to ask one question: that when a lawful assembly becomes unlawful, that is my question. When a lawful assembly becomes unlawful, that is my question. And Dolly Pathak, please answer it.
Sir, if it is affecting the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India, suppose like if there is an assembly where uh, it is like sort of sedition, like they are talking about some like example of like Kanhaiya Kumar case, no, in Delhi. So how he has done the assembly in JNU. So forming the assembly against this Afzal Guru.
So, for example, in case of Bandh, it's a kind of a assembly which is illegal because it involves the element of coercion and can cause complete shutdown of business and damage to public order. So, in that case,
Is anybody else?
Sir,
Yes.
Sir, any meeting or any procession, if there are various kind, like if there is risk of any obstruction, any danger to human life and health, or safety or disturbance, law and order of any state or any particular area, then we can do that, sir.
Have you heard about आपने सबने सुना होगा धारा 144 लग गई?
So when
Yes, sir.
public order is disturbed.
Yes, sir.
So right to strike does not.
Sir,
Okay,
any
so-
magistrate can use that, can apply that.
So basically,
Danger to human life and healthy.
yeah. So Section 141 of IPC Indian Penal Code lays down the condition that when a lawful assembly becomes unlawful. So it actually lays down certain condition that when an assembly becomes unlawful, and what happens that if there are 5 or more people, and if they have some common object, remember this thing, common object, and the common object can be to resist the execution of any law or legal process. कुछ लीगल प्रोसेस चल रही है, जैसे अब फॉर एग्जांपल मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि ये कोई एक्ट्रेस है XYZ, ठीक है, इनका एक बंगला है, इसको तोड़ा जा रहा है, तो अभी तोड़ा जा रहा है कोर्ट के ऑर्डर पर। अभी मैडम 10 लोगों को लेके आके उनके साथ मारपीट करने लगी, तो इट हैज बिकम अनलॉफुल। पहले इन्होंने प्रोटेस्ट की, सिंपल आके खड़ी हो गई, खड़े होने के बाद उसको ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट करना, अगर मारपीट भी नहीं कर रही है, बट इफ these 10 people are obstructing the legal work also, then it is unlawful. Second thing, that if somebody is trying to commit any mischief or criminal trespass. Third thing, that if somebody is trying to obtain possession of any property by force, that 10 people get assembled and then they went to some person's house and throws उसका घर का सामान बाहर फेंक के और घर में घुस जाते हैं, उसकी प्रॉपर्टी पे कब्जा फोर्सफुली कर लेते हैं. सो दिस असेंबली, लोग तो 10 थे, ठीक है, असेंबल हुए थे, देन दिस असेंबली इज आल्सो अनलॉफुल असेंबली. एंड एक्चुअली जो पब्लिक सर्वेंट है एंड व्हेन दे आर एक्सरसाइजिंग देयर लीगल ड्यूटीज, तो उसको नहीं करने देना. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स कम्स अंडर दिस अनलॉफुल थिंग. So remember this thing, okay? And remember this section 140, 141 of IPC.
Sir, but you have mentioned that there should be minimum 5%. So if a particular single person is बोलते नहीं in Hindi that सरकारी काम में बाधा डाल रहा है, then we can put you in
अरे
jail.
तो भाई असेंबली में लोग होने चाहिए ना, असेंबल कैसे होंगे? असेंबली में जब अकेले आदमी थोड़ी अपनी असेंबली लगा लेगा.
ओके सर, सो हम उस अकेले पर्सन को नहीं कह सकते.
हाँ तो दिस सेज दैट 5 people, 5 or more people, उतने लोग गैदर नहीं होने चाहिए. तो जो भी ऑर्डर आते हैं, आपने सुना होगा कि 5 or more people cannot gather. Now if there is this section 144 of CRPC is there in effect, and now there are 5 or more people there, then it will be a unlawful assembly, क्योंकि आपको ऑर्डर दिया गया है कि आपको 5 लोगों को इकट्ठा नहीं होना है, फिर भी आप इकट्ठा हो रहे हो, then it is unlawful assembly.
Okay sir.
Okay, anyone has anything to add or any doubt so far? Now we'll talk about freedom of movement. Which article talks about freedom of movement?
Sir, D. 19(1)(d).
Yes, 19(1)(d) talks about freedom of movement. So it guarantees to all citizens of India the right to move freely throughout the territory of India. And there are certain grounds, and clause 5 of this article 19 talks about those grounds, that first one is in the interest of general public, and second one is for the protection of the interest of any scheduled tribe. So if there is any question related to scheduled tribe and all, so you can quote this article 19, which one is this? 19(5). 19(5) is there, and 19(6) is also there. You can say that the constitution protect these tribal people from the interference of outside and to preserve their culture and all. तो अपने हिसाब से एक स्टोरी लिख सकते हो आर्टिकल 19(5) का हवाला देकर. समझ रहे हो आप चीजें कैसे कनेक्ट करनी है?
Yes sir.
बस इतना सा ही है इसमें, और कुछ बहुत ज्यादा है नहीं इसमें, कि जो फ्रीडम है उसको कर्व कर दिया जाता है. अब अगर आपको कुछ और डिस्कस करना है इसमें तो बताओ. अब मैं आपको एक फिर चीज पूछूंगा अगर किसी के पास कुछ नहीं है डिस्कस करने के लिए तो.
Sir, there are 2 types of movement, internal and
Yes sir.
external.
Internal is defended by Article 19 and second one is defended by Article 21. Sir.
Internal movements means throughout the territory of India when we are talking about internal movement, okay? External movements, this article deals 21. External movements means outside of India. Or any other thing you want to say?
No sir, this one only.
Yes. So we were talking about only internal throughout the territory of India. Now I want to ask one question कि ये मेरी बाइक है और एक पुलिस वाले आते हैं, ये मैं हूँ, ये पुलिस वाला है और बोल रहा है कि आप हेलमेट लगा लो मुझे, ठीक है? तो होता क्या है कि आई से दैट दिस इज actually curbing my freedom of movement, and I go to Supreme Court and I challenge this. So whether can I do it or not? This is the question.
No,
Sir,
sir, it's against the
no, sir.
traffic rules.
I am saying that this restriction is unreasonable. I cannot shake my hand. I cannot take air because of this helmet. I feel like suffocated and all.
Sir, but you are causing harm to public health.
Sir, Supreme Court held that that freedom of movement can be curbed on ground of public health and in the favor of public morals, sir.
So is it coming under public health?
Yes, sir.
Public
If you
order.
get accident,
Morals.
so other
Public
will be.
order.
Yes, Animes. Yes, you are right. Basically, all these rules are for the protection and safety of the head of the driver. So the compulsion for putting on a helmet by the driver does not restrict or curtail the freedom of movement. छोटी सी चीजें हैं इसमें, आपको थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंट रहा करो ना जब भी कुछ चीजें बोल रहे हो। एक ही दो लोग होते हैं जो ढंग से बोलते हैं, बाकी लोग डिफेंड ही नहीं कर पाते हैं। Now we'll talk about freedom of residence. So which article talks about?
सिलेक्शन होगा।
अरे अब सबकी सिलेक्शन होगी, चिंता मत करो, बस सब पढ़ाई करते रहो, सबकी इंडिविजुअल जर्नी है। अनिमेश का 100% होना चाहिए, बहुत मेहनत करता है अनिमेश। So now we'll talk about freedom of residence and freedom of residence. Which article talks about freedom of residence? And it will be answered by Summi.
19E.
19(1)(e). Yes. So it says that every citizen of India has the right to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. And clause 5 of Article 19 put reasonable restriction on 19(1)(e). And what are those grounds? Subhangi. Prerna. Prerna, can you please tell me that what are those grounds on which freedom of residence can be curbed or can be restricted?
Interest of general public and protection of the interest of scheduled tribes.
Yes, any scheduled tribe.
So interest of in national security and interest of historical reasons. For example, we can't take property in Himachal. I'm not sure, but I think this was the case. Same in Jammu and Kashmir. 35A and Article 370 says about that we can't. Nobody can earlier take property in Jammu and Kashmir.
Now, I want to ask one question, that freedom of movement and residence may be can it be curtailed during the emergency? And it has to be answered by Rohan.
Sir, yes, sir, it can be curbed. Only 20 and 21 cannot be curbed during emergency.
Yes. So I want to ask one question. Say, for example, you know that even if you are citizen of India, when you are coming to India, you need to take it's a kind of permission when you enter in India. जब हम लोग जो इमिग्रेशन प्रोसेस के थ्रू जाते हैं, है ना? आप कुछ लोगों ने जो अब्रॉड गए होंगे उन्होंने देखा होगा कि जब व्हेन यू गो आउट ऑफ इंडिया, देन जो इमिग्रेशन काउंटर है आप इंडिया का, वहां पर जाते हो, वो आपका स्टैंप लगाते हैं वहां आपके पासपोर्ट पर। एंड देन व्हेन यू कम बैक टू इंडिया, देन अगेन एक स्टैंप लगाया जाता है आपका कि आप इंडिया में वापस आ गए हो। इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ परमिशन टू एंटर इन द कंट्री वंस अगेन बाय द गवर्नमेंट। सो आई वांट टू आस्क क्वेश्चन कि आप ऐसे ही गए और बिना इस परमिशन के इंडिया के अंदर आ गए, तो आपको इंडिया से बाहर निकाला जा सकता है क्या? गुनी
सर निकाला तो नहीं जा सकता, but they'll investigate and
हाँ एग्जैक्टली बट एक केस ऐसा हुआ था कि देयर वाज अ पर्सन, वो इंडिया में बिना परमिशन के आ गया था, हाउएवर ही वाज इंडियन सिटीजन, तो उसको गवर्नमेंट ने निकाल दिया था बाहर इंडिया से, डिपोर्ट कर दिया था उसको. देन ही वेंट टू सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेड दैट यू कैन नॉट बी सो हार्श टू योर ओन सिटीजन एंड ही कैन नॉट बी थ्रोन आउट. So, the coming of a citizen to his homeland, even without permit, not not a grave offense. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऐसे तो इंडिया गवर्नमेंट किसी सिटीजन को नहीं निकाल सकती है अगर आप बिना परमिशन के इंडिया में आ भी गए. बट इफ एनी फॉरेनर कम टू इंडिया विदाउट परमिशन विदाउट वैलिड डॉक्यूमेंट, then he can be thrown out. Now the last one we'll talk about 19(1)(g), and who is going to tell me about 19(1)(g? Diptansu?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It explains a right to practice any profession.
Profession. What about
Profession,
trade?
occupation, trade and business also there.
Okay. 19(1)(g) says guarantees that all citizens shall have the right to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. However, this right to carry on a profession, business, trade is are subject to certain restriction. So now I want to ask one question that say one of you is a doctor, okay, and now you want to apply in Bar Council of BCI, Bar Council of India, for your just to get a license to practice law in India. Can you do it?
Obviously
No,
not.
sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Why can't you do? Because your
They can impose restrictions on it.
19(1)(g) says that you have got the freedom to, for all the profession and business and all. Why can't I do?
So
Sir,
state
the
can
state
impose
can prescribe certain qualifications.
certain qualification or conditions in certain professions in public interest.
Yes, exactly. So actually, in this case, that prescribing professional or technical qualification necessary for practicing any profession. Okay, so all these things are not restriction. I mean, the government can do all these things. They cannot be challenged. तो अभी किसी को इंडिया में डॉक्टर बनना है तो डॉक्टर बनने के लिए बायोलॉजी पढ़नी ही पड़ेगी, एक कंडीशन है. अभी नहीं पढ़ोगे आप तो नहीं बन सकते हो, आप इसको चैलेंज भी नहीं कर सकते हो. So these are certain conditions to carry on any profession or occupation. You need to have some sort of expertise or some sort of knowledge in that particular field. Okay. So basically there are only two grounds, that it should be reasonable and in the interest of general public, nothing much. एक ऐसा केस आया था.
Not residents.
नहीं, इसमें रेजिडेंस नहीं है, बिजनेस में. वो हमने पहले डिस्कस कर लिया 16 में. When we were talking about Article 16, then we discussed, but in it there are only two restrictions. First one is says that the restriction should be reasonable and in the interest of general public. And 19(1)(g, so we are done with 19(1)(g. and जो मैं केस के बारे में बात कर रहा था, द केस, उस केस का नाम वैसे इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट बता देता हूँ. डॉक्टर हनीराज एल चुहानी वर्सेस बार काउंसिल ऑफ महाराष्ट्र इन गोवा. उसमें एक केस हुआ था कि दिस पर्सन वाज अ डॉक्टर एंड ही अप्लाइड इन बार काउंसिल ऑफ गोवा फॉर द रजिस्ट्रेशन इन दी बार. फिर उसको जब मना कर दिया तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आ गया चैलेंज करने. So now we are done with Article 19, and should we discuss Article 20 or not? If you are not bored, then we can discuss 20, and if you are, then we cannot.
Discuss, sir. We can discuss.
Sir, I have a shortcut for 19 also.
Yes, sir. Mr. Shortcut, please tell your shortcut.
Sam resides in Poland. SAAM resides in Poland.
Animesh is watching Siddhartha Arora's video.
Sam resides in Poland.
Yeah, S is speech, A is assembly, A is association, M is movement, resides is residence, and Poland is profession.
बढ़िया है। और किसी के पास कुछ है?
And if anyone is confused about double A, will assembly or association come first, so they can go by dictionary.
Sam resides in Poland. ठीक है। Now we'll talk about Article 20
Sir,
and हाँ जी।
sir, I had one confusion. Sir, I have heard that fundamental rights of Article 19 can only be suspended in case of external emergency, not internal emergency. So, sir, sir, you told that freedom of movement can be suspended in case of emergency. So, is it external, internal, or both?
In external only.
Okay, sir.
सबके लिए वो सेम ही चीज है।
Okay, sir.
है ना?
Okay, sir.
Okay, now we'll talk about Article 20, and 20 is also very interesting article. So it talks about three things. First clause 1 says no ex post facto law. What does second say?
No double jeopardy.
Yes, no double jeopardy. And what does third say?
No self-incrimination.
Yes, no self-incrimination. So first we'll talk about 21A, and it is no ex post facto law. Palak, tell me about something it.
Sir, no idea.
Preeti Yadav.
Sir,
जी प्रीति।
there cannot be any retrospective law as punishment.
अच्छा, ट्रायल हो सकती है?
No, sir. No, sir. Sir,
प्रेरणा कुमार। Guneeb.
Sir, it says that you cannot punish someone, like it means that you can punish someone when the law is there for that punishment in the cases of what do you call? How should I put it?
Civil.
Retrospective.
Some criminal laws.
So I'm not able to frame it. Like, can I switch to
Sir,
Hindi?
I can explain that in a simple.
अभी देखो आपको मैं बताता हूँ। He is Mr. X and this is me. So Mr. X visits to my home and there's my wristwatch which he likes very much, and without my permission he takes away it. So basically he has stolen my wristwatch. At that point of time there was no law. There was no law regarding theft or this stealing wristwatch or anything. Okay, so I go to police station and I say that Mr. X came to my home and he has taken away my wristwatch. Basically he has stolen my wristwatch, so please file a complaint against him. So this Mr. Daroga ji, he says that there is no law regarding theft or stealing, so we cannot do anything. Now what happens, and this incident took place on 3rd April. Now अभी हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं, उनकी भतीजी का भी पर्स चोरी हो जाता है, तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर सोचते हैं कि देयर शुड बी अ लॉ regarding theft and stealing and all. Then next day on 4th April the law comes. तो इसके बाद 5 तारीख को इफेक्ट में भी आ जाता है, प्रेसिडेंट एक ही दिन में पास हो जाता है. नेक्स्ट डे ऑन 5th द लॉ कम्स. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू एग्जांपल, डोंट टेक इट सीरियसली, ओके? इट्स जस्ट एग्जांपल टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड थिंग.
Best example is Vodafone and Cairn law.
अरे
actually. The case
ए,
Vodafone
एक
and
मिनट
Career.
एक मिनट अभी थोड़ा सा आप सुन लो इसको. So what happens that this law comes. अभी आप वोडाफोन की बात कर रहे हो, अगर उसमें क्रिमिनल केस नहीं होगा तो वो वोडाफोन का फेल है जो आप एग्जांपल दे रहे हो. सिविल केसेस में होता है रिट्रोस्पेक्टिवली. So what happens that on 5th, stealing has become a crime offense. Now again I go to police station. I say that our parliament has brought this law, and now file a complaint against Mr. X because he has committed an offense. Then he says that Article 21 says that नो रिट्रोस्पेक्टिव इफेक्ट ऑफ एनी लॉ. इट मीन्स कि कोई भी जो लॉ होगा वो पीछे से लागू नहीं होगा. अगर से फॉर एग्जांपल इफ एनी क्राइम हैज कमिटेड on certain day and if there was no law regarding that crime, then it will not be considered as a crime. If in case in future there is a law regarding it, it will not be considered. तो वो कहते हैं कि आपकी कंप्लेन नहीं ली जा सकती क्योंकि ये पहले हुआ था. अब आपकी वो दोबारा से घड़ी चोरी करके लेके जाएं, then come to me, I'll file a complaint. So this is the meaning of this no ex post facto law, कि no retrospective law. This is very simple meaning and you must have understood it. And second thing, it says that no punishment greater than the existing at that time of commission. तो अभी क्या होता है, उस टाइम पे 2 साल की सजा थी, फिर उसकी 4 साल बढ़ा के कर दी सजा. तो मैं आई कैन नॉट से अब ये अपना सेंटेंस बेचारा 2 साल का कंप्लीट करने वाला है घड़ी चुराने के लिए. नाउ आई कैन नॉट गो एंड आई कैन नॉट से दैट नाउ ही शुड बी इन द जेल फॉर अनदर 2 year बिकॉज नाउ पनिशमेंट इज 4 year. समझ में आ गया ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, we can relate this to one example, like in Nirbhaya incident, that one of them was a minor, and after that, Government of India changed
Yes,
the minor
yes, Burma
age.
committee.
So at that time there was no
No,
law.
government of India has not changed the age of minor. This is
Juvenile age.
fact.
Revision.
No, facts are not correct. Actually, what they did, that there are certain category of crime which is called heinous crime. In those case, if any person who is above 16, then he'll be treated as an adult if he commits those heinous crime. Remember this thing.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
हाँ जी,
Hello,
किसी को
sir.
कुछ कहना है? हाँ जी.
Hello, sir.
Yes, प्रेरणा.
Sir, why is this provision not applicable in case of trial?
ट्रायल तो कर ही सकते हैं. ट्रायल चीजें की जा सकती हैं. ट्रायल में कुछ पनिशमेंट एंड वो नहीं मिल रहा है ना. रिट्रोस्पेक्टिवली अब किसी की ट्रायल छूट गई है तो वो किया जा सकता है उस टाइम से. बट इसमें जो है आदमी डायरेक्टली उसकी राइट्स इफेक्ट होते हैं. ट्रायल डज नॉट अफेक्ट एनी राइट बट इट अफेक्ट्स द राइट. इट अफेक्ट्स कर्व्स. इट कैन कर्व द लिबर्टी. ट्रायल कैन नॉट कर्व द लिबर्टी. पनिशमेंट जो होगा वो इट कैन कर्व द लिबर्टी बट ट्रायल नहीं कर सकती ना. ट्रायल इज अ प्रोसीजर.
So, sir, ट्रायल अगर चल रहा है तो कंप्लेंट होगा कि नहीं उस ऑफेंडर के अगेंस्ट?
देखो, रिट्रोस्पेक्टिव भी ट्रायल चलाई जा सकती है, ये चीज आप समझ लो, लेकिन उसको कन्विक्ट नहीं किया जा सकता है अगर लॉ नहीं होगा. तो अगर कोई प्रोसीजर आ गया तो उस प्रोसीजर के तहत ट्रायल चल सकता है नए तरीके से. जैसे मैं आपको एक चीज बताता हूँ. फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट का नाम सुना है आपने?
यस सर.
तो हुआ क्या कि ये फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट कब इंडिया में बहुत जाना आए, निर्भया केस के बाद. बेसिकली वैसे भी थे बट जो वुमेन्स के अगेंस्ट जो क्राइम होती थी उसके बाद बर्मा कमेटी हैज रिकमेंडेड देयर शुड बी फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट टू डील सच काइंड ऑफ क्राइम, एंड उसके बाद आया. तो अभी ये बंदा था, इसने जो है सम ही वाज कुछ क्या कहते हैं सेक्शन 354D विच टॉक्स अबाउट, अरे किसी का पीछा करने को क्या कहते हैं, इंटरनेट पे पीछा करो या वो करो, स्टॉकिंग. हाँ, स्टॉकिंग. So section 354D talks about stalking. So this person was actually convicted, was accused of stalking. Now what happens that this government of parliament has come up with the law, and it says that any law which any offense which is related to section 354, 354A, B, C, D, 3 and 509, 375, 376, all these offenses which are crime against women. Okay, if any such offense take place, then the trial will be held in fast track court. Now this person cannot, so what happens that this person's trial shift to फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट. नाउ दिस पर्सन कैन नॉट से दैट कि जिस टाइम मैंने ये क्राइम किया था उस टाइम पे प्रोसीजर नहीं था फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट का. समझ में आ रहा है ना आपको? अभी उसको फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट में शिफ्ट कर दिया है, सो ही कैन नॉट से कि माय ट्रायल कैन नॉट टेक प्लेस इन फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट बिकॉज एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम देयर वाज नो फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट. तो ये ऐसे नहीं जाके बोल सकता है, क्योंकि यहाँ तो उसका कुछ अफेक्ट तो हो नहीं रहा है, सिर्फ ट्रायल का ही प्रोसीजर तो चेंज हो रहा है कि अब थोड़ा फास्ट होगा. समझ में आया क्यों इसको बाहर रखा है ट्रायल को?
Yes, sir. So basically, it is about the procedure.
Yes, exactly. It's about the procedure.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
कोई और? Any other question? आप लोगों को समझ तो आ रहा है ना ये सब चीजें?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, we
Sir, you are mute.
Now we'll talk about the second part. And what is the other part? The other part is no double jeopardy. So what does it mean?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Kuleep.
Sir, no person can be punished twice for the same sin. Like one, you can just punish him once for the offense.
Okay. So I have a question and it will be answered by Isan. So Isan, my question is that, say for example, Mr. X is working in some company where he is accused of, harassment at workplace, and because of which this company fires him, and after that there's a case registered under section 354 of IPC against him. So he can go to Supreme Court and he can say that this is double punishment. Whatever I have done, for that I have been fired from my uh, job place. Now there cannot be any prosecution against me because of Article 22. So his contention will sustain or not? This is my question.
नो सर, वो ये डबल जेओपार्डी नहीं है जो ये केस.
क्यों नहीं है?
इस केस में
बेचारे की जॉब
सर
भी चली गई, जॉब भी चला गया उसका, और इसके बाद उसको जेल भी भेजा रहा है, तो दो पनिशमेंट हो गई.
सर इसका आई एम नॉट श्योर, बट जो कंपनी दे रही है वो जुडिशरी नहीं है, सो दैट वोंट बी काउंटेड.
Yes,
Company
exactly.
is not state.
Actually, it
Court of
talks
law.
about judiciary. Okay, so it simply says that the punishment should not be given by the judicial authority, and that is their departmental inquiry or whatever is that. So departmental inquiries are excluded from this thing. Remember this thing. It talks about only judicial authorities. अभी I want to ask one more question कि ये मिस्टर एक्स हैं, इन्होंने वाई और जेड, देर आर टू ब्रदर, इसको भी एक चांटा मार दिया था और इसको भी एक चांटा मार दिया था. तो जेड ने कंप्लेन नहीं की, सिर्फ बाई ने कंप्लेन की, और बाई ने कहा जेड भी जो है इसने मुझे मारा और मेरे भाई को मारा. ठीक है, तो कंप्लेन में इसका नाम हो गया, फिर इसको 3 महीने के लिए जेल भेज दिया गया. फिर जेड को याद आया कि मुझे भी कंप्लेन करनी चाहिए, नाउ आई शुड गो एंड फाइल अ कंप्लेन. सो जेड आल्सो गोज एंड ही सेज दैट इसने मुझे भी मारा और मेरे भाई को भी मारा. सो कैन जेड डू दिस, और कैन ही बी पनिश्ड टू बीट, आई मीन कैन ही बी पनिश्ड once again for this thing? Did you understand what I said?
No, sir.
I don't think so. I cannot be punished.
Yeah, he cannot be punished because if same circumstances, same facts and everything is same, तो already वो दोनों को पीटने के लिए 3 महीने काट चुका है ना जेल में. So why would he go another time? He won't go. तो ये हो गया आपका no double jeopardy.
Sir, if in that FIR he doesn't mention about Z, then it can't be jeopardy, double jeopardy.
तो वैसे भी फिर प्रोसीजर आ जाएगा, ठीक है, फिर उसकी एफआईआर नहीं ली जाएगी बहुत दिनों बाद. वो कोर्ट कहेगा कि वो एक्चुअली होता क्या है कि जो इंडिया में कॉन्करेंटली चलते हैं, जैसे मान लो कि फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर कन्विक्टेड फॉर 10 years, तो आपने 5 क्राइम किए हैं, आपने किसी को चांटा भी मारा है, आपने किसी की घड़ी घड़ी भी चुराई है, और आपने कहीं डकैती भी डाली है, ठीक है. सो से फॉर एग्जांपल फॉर डकैती यू हैव रिसीव सेंटेंस 10 years, इन सबके लिए 5 साल 6 साल मिला. तो ऐसा नहीं होगा कि पहले आप 10 साल काटो, फिर 5 साल काटो, फिर 6 साल काटो. ये 5 और 6 सब इसी 10 के अंदर आ जाएंगे. सो आपको जो बिग सेंटेंस होता है उसको कंप्लीट करना होता है, तो वो वैसे भी उसका सस्टेन नहीं कर सकता है.
ओके सर.
मतलब बहुत प्रॉब्लम होगी उसको करने में, लेकिन चीजें तो कुछ भी हो जाती हैं. ओके, सो दिस इज डबल जेओपार्डी एंड आई होप दैट आप लोगों को अच्छे से समझ में आ गया होगा ये चीज.
सर अभी जो आपने कहा कि लाइक फॉर द बिगर क्राइम पनिशमेंट इज गिवन, तो
आपकी
when we are putting
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही.
एक मिनट, अभी you said कि punishment is always given for the bigger crime. So when we are filing a case, we try to put all the sections and all the laws. ऐसा क्यों होता है फिर? मतलब when we are trying
हाँ, वो इसलिए होता है ना कि किसी ना किसी में तो पनिशमेंट मिल जाए, पता चले
sue someone. So we try कि जितनी भी हम कर सकते हैं, मतलब जितनी भी धाराएं लगा सकते हैं आईपीसी.
हाँ, तो वो इसलिए होता है, मेनली इसलिए होता है कि किसी ना किसी में, अब मान लो कि आपने उसको बोला कि दिस पर्सन ट्राइज टू किल मी, ओके, सो देन इट विल बी 307, देन you can say this person has robbed me also, so it will be 384. सो अभी फाइंडिंग में निकल के आया कि इसने आपको जो है मारने की कोशिश तो नहीं की, बट हाँ आपको रॉब जरूर किया है इसने, तो ये वाला हट जाएगा, ये वाला बचा रहेगा. तो लोग इतने ज्यादा सेक्शन इसलिए लगाते हैं कि कितने ज्यादा में फंसे, इसलिए लगाते हैं कि कहीं से बचने का चांस ना रहे, छोटा से छोटा भी हो सब लगा दो, कहीं ना कहीं तो फंस जाए.
Okay, sir.
Now we'll talk about no self-incrimination, and who is going to tell me about it?
So he cannot witness himself. Hello, sir.
Sandeep Kumar.
Sir, you cannot witness for your own case. Like,
Okay. Apart from anything else?
So state cannot compel an individual for giving evidence against oneself.
ओके. एंड फिर हम लोग जो ये सब नार्को टेस्ट और ये तमाम चीजें करते हैं, ये क्यों करते हैं?
So it will
नार्को
be,
एनालिसिस.
so it cannot be used as an evidence, but it can be used to help the police for the future investigation.
नहीं, बिल्कुल किया जा सकता है इसको एज
हाँ, तो किया जा सकता है, लेकिन एविडेंस के तरीके से नहीं यूज करेंगे उसको, इन्वेस्टिगेशन में हेल्प करेगा उस तरीके से यूज कर सकते हैं.
एक्सेप्शन.
अच्छा,
इसको एक्चुअली एविडेंस भी यूज किया जा सकता है. आई एम सेइंग दिस.
Yes, sir. That is basically an exception to this. Like in about the double jeopardy, the departmental was exception. So here this like taking blood samples or test that can be used.
So sir, DNA testing is a part that it can be used as evidence.
So actually there was a case, and case का नेम था MP शर्मा वर्सेस सतीश चंद्रा। तो इस केस में क्या हुआ कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि एविडेंस मस्ट बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन एंड फॉर द सेम रीजन द मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन कैन बी डन। ठीक है, एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर पार्ट ऑफ मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन टुगेदर द एविडेंस। अभी किसी ने, जैसे आपको मैं एक एग्जांपल बताता हूँ, हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट रोहित शेखर एंड एनडी तिवारी?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Father.
Okay, yeah, so Rohit Sekhar claimed that Mr. Andy Tiwari is my biological father. Okay, and then Andy Tiwari refused this claim and he said, no, no, he's not my son. Then he goes to court and then court asked him to give blood sample, his DNA sample. तो एक जो मेडिकल प्रोसीजर है दैट कैन बी डन एंड दैट कैन बी यूज्ड अगेंस्ट, तो जो उसने मेडिकल सैंपल दिया था दैट वाज treated as evidence, as an evidence, and that established that Mr. Andy Tiwari is was father of Rohit Sekhar. तो वो चीजें एविडेंस में यूज हो सकती हैं, रिमेम्बर दिस थिंग। सेकेंड थिंग कि जो है वो कंपेल नहीं कर सकते हैं अपने अगेंस्ट देने को, कि किसी की पिटाई करें और पिटाई करके जबरदस्ती लिखवा दें। से फॉर एग्जांपल अभी किसी ने कुछ किया ही नहीं है, उसकी पिटाई कर करके बोल दें कि आप नाउ यू हैव टू राइट एंड यू हैव टू से दैट यस यू हैव कमिटेड द क्राइम, दैट कैन नॉट बी डन। हाउएवर इफ somebody is giving voluntary, then that can be done.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, blood sample is different now from polygraph and narco test. Blood
हाँ
sample तो
डिफरेंट है।
compulsory है।
ब्लड सैंपल मतलब हेल्थ के गवर्नमेंट ने बहुत अच्छा एक ग्राउंड निकाला है हेल्थ। ठीक है, अब हेल्थ के ग्राउंड में मतलब जो मेडिकल है, बेसिकली मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन में वो कुछ भी कर लेते हैं। उसी में आपका पॉलीग्राफिक टेस्ट आ गया, उसी में आपकी इतनी सारी नार्को एनालिसिस आ गई, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आ गई, दे से दैट वी आर डूइंग मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन।
बट सर आई थिंक इमजा जो बोल रहे थे वो करेक्ट है, एविडेंस यूज नहीं कर सकते, वी कैन
नहीं,
यूज इट
मेडिकल
टू
एग्जाम
सपोर्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशन जो नार्को और ये सब होते हैं।
मैं आपको कह रहा हूँ कि एक केस पढ़ लेना आप, MP शर्मा वर्सेस सतीश चंद्रा। इसमें मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन में जो भी चीजें आई हैं दैट कैन बी यूज्ड एज एन एविडेंस।
सर
अब हो सकता है आपने
सर
लक्ष्मीकांत
बट
में पढ़ लिया हो।
सर बट आरुषि जायसवाल केस में भी तो नार्को टेस्ट हुआ था, दे डिडंट एक्सेप्ट, द कोर्ट डिडंट एक्सेप्ट द नार्को टेस्ट।
वो एक्चुअली कोर्ट के डिस्क्रिशन पे यूज, कोर्ट के डिस्क्रिशन पे डिपेंड करता है कि वो उस एविडेंस को, जैसे आपको मैं एक बहुत सिंपल से एग्जांपल देता हूँ, फॉरगेट अबाउट आरुषि तलवार केस। आपका एक कोई फ्रेंड है, ठीक है, और वो जो फ्रेंड है, फ्रेंड को जाके मैंने आपके साथ झगड़ा कर लिया, ठीक है, झगड़ा करने पे मैंने आपकी पिटाई भी कर दी। आपका फ्रेंड था तो वो जाके मेरे अगेंस्ट विटनेस देने गया, मैंने कह दिया, मैंने प्रूव कर दिया कोर्ट में कि दिस विटनेस इज नॉट रिलायबल, तो उसकी बात ही नहीं मानी जाएगी। तो ऐसे ही होता है कि उन्होंने जो नार्को एनालिसिस की उसको उन्होंने एज ए एविडेंस यूज करने की कोशिश तो की, बट वो कोर्ट ने माना नहीं। दैट इज डिफरेंट थिंग, समझ रहे हो ना आप? whether court accept any evidence or not, it depends on the court, however they can try to use that thing.
यस सर, समझ में आ गया,
वो चीज मैं कह रहा हूँ।
Sir, in Selvi versus State of Karnataka case, that Supreme Court has put restriction on narco analysis and brain mapping, but we can take DNA testing and other samples.
अरे बहुत सारे केस हैं, सी इन वन के सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेज, आपको मैं एक क्लासिक एग्जांपल बताता हूँ। अभी SC/ST जो अट्रोसिटीज वाला एक्ट हुआ था, in one bench of Supreme Court said that this offense you can get the bail and all these things. Another bench came and they said no no no, it cannot be done. तो वो तो हर केस में चेंज हो जाएगा। But what I am saying that government agency always tries to use all these things and they use this thing. It depends on the court whether they have to accept it or not. आज के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया है, so we'll end it here. और किसी को कुछ डाउट है तो you can ask.
Sir, yesterday discussion video share.
Yesterday क्या?
Sea of Janta discussion video.
वो मैं भेज दूंगा अभी आप लोगों को। थोड़ा सा मुझे टाइम दे दो, मैं भेज तो देते ही हूँ ना 1-2 दिन में, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि नहीं भेजता हूँ, तो जस्ट गिव मी सम टाइम। ठीक है। Anybody has any question? Yeah, one more thing I had to discuss with you कि जो हम लोगों का रिवीजन था, तो किसी ने मुझे सजेशन दिया था कि we can do revision in the morning, maybe around 8 a.m. Will that be okay?
Yes.
What will
Yes, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
क्यों?
सर मेरा कोचिंग रहता है सुबह 9 बजे।
अरे अब कोचिंग बंद कर दो, अब तो समय ही नहीं बचा है। अभी we'll start from 16th of April रिवीजन जो है, तो बाय देन आपका कोचिंग कंप्लीट हो जाना चाहिए, कि नहीं होगा?
नो सर।
तो
Sir,
आप
I don't know about the revision. Can you please repeat, matlab, what all we are going to revise?
so our
Whatever
syllabus,
links you sent and we've done by submit.
yeah, so our syllabus will be done by 15th of April most probably. Thereafter, from the next day we'll start doing revision. So what I'll do, I'll give you targets, same targets will be given and little bit extra things will be there, जो भी एक तरीके से supplement type का होता है, additional चीजें, so that I'll provide you। वो आप लोग पढ़ोगे एक दिन पहले, नेक्स्ट डे हम लोग उसको डिस्कस कर लेंगे बहुत फास्ट फास्ट, अच्छे से जल्दी जल्दी, ताकि चीजें आपको याद बनी रहे और आप लोग भूलो ना, इसके लिए। तो सुबह सुबह मॉर्निंग में एक 40-45 मिनट का एक रिवीजन सेशन रख लेंगे।
Okay, sir.
ठीक है। ओके,
So
सो
from 8 a.m. up till
8 से 8:45
how long
till
it will
9,
Yeah, before 9 it works for me.
8 to 9।
Okay, sir. If it's
Okay.
till 9, it's fine.
Yes, sir. 8 to 9.
Okay, everybody, bye bye, good night, take care।
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
And
Good night.
one more thing I want to ask, tomorrow what time should we meet?
So this time period is very comfortable. Everybody is comfortable.
Yeah,
with
this
that.
I wanted to take one more session because we have done just Article 20 and there are another 15 articles are remaining there, so I wanted to complete them as soon as possible so that we can switch on some other things. So I wanted to take another extra session, one session at 9:30 for sure, and the session, what if we can keep it around 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., around 6?
Yes, sir. I'm fine with it.
Yes, sir.
Because tomorrow is Sunday. Okay, so 6 p.m.
Yes,
you'll
sir.
be having another session, and tomorrow only I'll confirm it. But this session, 9:30 session is there. So everybody, bye bye, good night, take care.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night.